Slides to Ayton underneath, stripped out of his hands by Grant. And Grant is able to force another turnover. Here comes Jeremy the other way. Attacks right to the rim and dunks it in. Murray with 9 to shoot. Back to Klingon. Now to Avdia. Deep three. Buries it. 12 for Denny Avdia. He's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. And the Blazers in front 5-2. Murray gives it to Holiday to reset. Working on James. Gives it to Sharp. Drives from the corner to the rim and packs it down with the right hand. His head was above the rim as he slammed it down. 7-point Blazers lead.
Well, there's just a couple highlights from Monday night's victory against the Los Angeles Lakers. 122-108 in the second night of a back-to-back as the Blazers improved to 2-2 in this early season, looking to get above 500 tonight as they take on the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City, the third and final game of this first road trip of the year. Welcome into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation with us, head on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, join the conversation in the chat, or of course, 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. One of the questions in the chat already is Michael Jordan right about minutes restrictions? Well, you know what? We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, because the answer is yes, but we're going to dive in. But first, we got to get to what happened on Monday night. Blazers taking on the Lakers. No Luka Doncic, no LeBron James. And the Blazers took care of business. I think a lot of people would be like, oh, well, they didn't have their two best stars. And I counter argue with, yeah, and that's the type of game that the Blazers have lost in previous years. I will take this victory. They went in, they did what they were supposed to do. They looked good doing it, and they got a W, and an impressive one at that. They outscored the Lakers 28-24 in the first quarter, 29-27 in the second, 32-26 in the third, 33-31 in the fourth. Outscored them in all 4 quarters. Not bad at all. Denny Avdia looked great. Shaedon Sharpe still struggled a little bit, but I still think there's plenty to like. We'll dive into that here shortly. And the Lakers, I think they showed that when they're a fully healthy team, that they might be able to cause some problems. They're just not fully healthy yet. Let's take a look at that box score, tell you what I'm talking about. Rui Hachimura had 16 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist starting at the forward position. A good game for him. Jared Vanderbilt, who I think Blazer fans are familiar with. There's a lot of fans clamoring for him when Utah was trading him. He has 14 points to go along with 8 rebounds, 16 points and 8 boards for DeAndre Ayton, former Trailblazer, which was funny because he said post-game that all his former teammates were talking a lot of crap. He's like, after every shot he made, Denny had something to say to me, but it was fun. So I like that. And then Jake LaRivia had 3 points and 6 rebounds. Now, I left out a starter. Who would that be? Austin Reeves, 39 minutes, 13 of 22 from the floor, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 41 points in total. That is one game after he dropped 51. So he's got 92 over those last 2 games. He's absolutely on a tear. And when you couple Austin Reeves with LeBron and Luka and Rui and they got a decent team over there. Absolutely decent team. They might be top end heavy, but they got some dudes who can ball. Now, the Blazers, they weathered the 41 points from Austin Reeves. They were able to battle the fact that the Lakers still had 5 players with 14 or more points, and they did it through the stars of their team. Denny Avdia led the way, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a steal. He had 3 block shots, and more so than anything, I like the fact that he only had 3 turnovers because he has been a little turnover prone early in the season, taking care of the ball. Nice to see. He's also struggled from beyond the arc, not so much in this one, 5 of 8 from the 3-point stripe. Tumani Kamara did struggle offensively, 2 of 7, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and just 4 points total. He's still out there doing his thing on the defensive side of the ball, which is absolutely wild that Twitter is telling me that he is regressed defensively. He's still putting dudes in a box. I don't know what we're talking about there. Maybe we'll pay a little closer attention to that one tonight. The Blazers do need him to give you more than 4 points in a game. He's only scored 5 against the Clippers. You need him to get out there. I want him to be getting you 12, 13, 15 points a night. But on a night like tonight, didn't matter because everyone was still putting in the scoring load for you. So you could afford that off night, but you can't afford that every single night. But with him having a down night, guys like Donovan Clingan stepped up 16 points, 14 rebounds, 2 block shots, 2 assists. Just an all around phenomenal game from DC. He was 8 of 12 from the field. Didn't even get to the free throw line, 0 for 0. So I like the efficiency there and the fact that all those points came from the floor and he shot the ball well doing it. Drew Holiday, another solid game for your Trailblazers, 10 of 15 from the floor, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc, 24 points, 5 boards, and 6 assists. Shaedon Sharpe, as we talked about, he struggled. He absolutely struggled. 6 for 16, 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. He had just 16 points. I think the number right now, he's shooting like 16% from 3 on the season. He hasn't been a great shooter his entire career. I do think that's going to buoy out. I had this argument with some Blazer fans yesterday, like, well, he's off to a terrible start. I'm like, A, it's 4 games, but B, if we're going to argue about him being off to a terrible start, we should probably be really, really hyped for the start that Jeremy Grant's off to because he's shooting like 49% from beyond the arc to start the season. And we all know that's not going to hold up because that would be insane to shoot 50% at the clip at which he takes those shots. But Jeremy Grant, still, he's been phenomenal off the Trailblazers bench. 22 points in this one. He had 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. So phenomenal from him. I believe it was at the halfway point, halftime, as they call it in the league, where the Blazers bench was actually outscoring the Lakers bench 21-0. In the end, they outscored the Lakers bench 37-18. Obviously, a huge difference in this one. Second chance points, Blazers outscored the Lakers 35-16, and a little bit closer, but another game where the Blazers win the points in the paint battle 62-54. Portland had just 19 turnovers to 25 for LA. They had fewer fouls. Biggest lead of the night, 18 for your Trailblazers. Biggest lead for the Lakers was just 5. There was 9 lead changes. They were tied 6 times. And that's how that one played out. I thought it was a good game. You could play a terrible game, but anytime you go down to Los Angeles and you beat the Lakers, it is a good day. It is an absolutely good day. And, of course, you heard Shaedon Sharpe. He had the dunk of the night where he absolutely blew the roof off of the Staples Center. It's not crypto.com. Let's get real. And it's funny because I did see a Blazer fan say, what did he say? Because there's one angle of the clip. You can see he yells something. Looks like he's yelling at the ref. He's not. He's just yelling into the crowd. And someone yelled, he's probably yelling Cobra because that's, that's what Kevin Calabro says when he has those big plays. And I'm like, what if he was yelling Cobras are better than Black Mambas in Staples Center, right? I mean, come on. That'd be cool. Have that swagger, kid. Have that swagger, but give it a listen one more time because let me tell you what, highlights like this, they are just fun.
Murray gives it to Holiday to reset, working on James. Gives it to Sharpe, drives from the corner to the rim and packs it down with the right hand. His head was above the rim as he slammed it down. 7-point Blazers lead.
It was one of those dunks too, where I mean, his head was above the rim. There was intention. I also love there was a fast break in that game where he gets the steal, kicks it out to Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday's running the break, and even Lamar was asking for it. He's like, "Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?" And Drew Holiday did not throw the assist off the glass. Instead, he just took a layup. And when he turns around, he just has Shea kind of give him like that. The Nick Young meme, like the what? Like come on, like Shea wanted the assist off the glass so bad. Maybe next time. I mean, that would have been an all-time highlight right there. Off the glass, Shea just skies throws it down. That's Sports Center top 10, and it ain't 2 through 10. I'll tell you that. It's number 1. I would have loved to see that. Cobra Kai dunk or die is what Dog Catcher says in the chat. I like that. Absolutely. I love the Cobra every single time. Just the highlights are fun. He's going to come around, friends. The shot it's struggling right now. I do think that part of that is just because he's playing as kind of the go-to guy offensively. Now, he had games last year where he was getting up those 20 shots per game, but I still think it was a slightly different approach with him offensively. Like he was still getting the shots, but in different ways. This year, there's a lot of putting the ball in his hand, letting him create. There was times where he's putting the ball on the floor and getting to a good shot. That shot's just not falling. Some of the three-pointers he's taking, most of the three-pointers he's taking are good shots. They're just not falling. those things you'll work out. I think a coach will take a guy missing the good shot rather than forcing up bad shots all day long, and he's not taking a lot of bad shots. When he plays with that little bit of that swagger, though, good things happen. We just need more of that. I want to see Duncan Shea all night long. Thanks for tuning in. This is Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can join the YouTube chat over there at youtube.com. Just type in Rip City Radio, where Dennis says, just win, baby. Just win. And a win tonight would be great. Come home 5-2, a winning record on the road trip. Be a good way to come home before you got to take on a very tough Nuggets team. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Splitter had to say after the game. We're also going to hear from Denny Avdia as well. This is Blazers Game Day on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Getting you ready for Trailblazers versus Jazz, Game 3 of this 3-game road trip, their first roadie of the year before coming back on Friday to take on the Denver Nuggets. And I will tell you what, the Blazers social team, their PR team, they know what they're doing, because I noticed that they have been like pushing their buy tickets now. And the picture they have for the Nuggets game is our man Young Hansen and Nikola Jokic. Like that's who they feature on the. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing there.
Like, I see what you're doing there. No, I gotta say, Chris, even when I was at the game last week, just for when maybe I don't work a game, Blazer fans, man, that deal they're rocking right now, where you get 2 tickets, 2 sodas, and 2 pizzas for like $50, like. Chris, that's an affordable way to go see a Blazer game.
Absolutely. 2 tickets to paradise, baby.
And pizza and drinks, that's expensive too. So I'm going to take advantage of that deal.
How cheap is it to go to a Beaver game nowadays?
Okay, so for
sorry,
no, it's entirely true. And before Lafayette, I had my coworker sent me screenshots. You could have saw Lafayette for $1.
Oh my gosh.
So probably some fees in there, of course. But
it was so funny because everyone knows I'm a Duck. That's where I went to school. Love Oregon, and I had tickets to the Oregon State Houston game, and I was gonna go, but my wife got sick, and so we're like, I'm not gonna drive all the way down, and when you're not feeling well, and I don't want to go without you. It was funny though, Brenden, because my daughter's like, "You guys are going to a Beaver game?" I'm like, "Yes." "You're not gonna be Beaver fans, are you?" I go, "No, we're Duck fans." She's like, "Then why would you go to a Beaver game?" I go, because I just really like sports. And it's a Friday night and a chance to go watch college football. Sign me up.
Bless your daughter, man. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She knows where mom and dad went to school, and I would be, if it was the rules were reversed, Chris, that'd be a proud dad moment right there, right? Man. That's pretty awesome. I respect where you're coming from, but I respect the daughter being like, dad and mom went to Oregon. Why are they going to a Beaver game? Like, I get it.
But I know
I love it.
If it's a Friday night and someone gave you free tickets, it's Oregon versus East Tennessee or something. Like, hey, Brenden, you got free tickets, and you're like, okay, and you got nothing else to do. It's not the Beavers. You're definitely not a Duck fan, but you'd have been like, oh, free college football?
Place to go, right?
Something to do there. Exactly.
100%.
Exactly. You know what else is, a place to go? Things to do? Go to the Coach's Corner. Hear from Coach Tiago Splitter. Let's hit it. All right, let's go back in time, head to L.A. I want to hear what Coach Tiago Splitter said after that win against the Lakers.
A lot of good things. The resilience of, playing tired and pushing is not easy in a back-to-back like this. Both teams were tired, but they, again, play extremely hard. Knowing their conditions and guys, they use the whole tank there and tank. And that's what I'm most impressed with.
When you're coming on the second night of a back-to-back, you mentioned fatigue was a factor. How does that affect the way you coach a game, getting guys in and out?
Yeah, I was trying to be mindful of their minutes and how they look. You guys already kind of see what I do with the subs, and so just being watching them in the court, how they react to offense, defense, those role changes and transitions and rebounds, and then who is crashing, who is not. Just taking a look at that, and then, next man up.
You guys forced 2 8-seconds violations. Blake Wesley did his thing. It was your pressure that you've touted. When stuff like that happens, do you feel that on the bench? What kind of energy does that bring to you guys?
Yeah, we've been preaching that the whole summer. Nate's doing a great job, our assistant, to keep pushing the guys and just getting them ready at the bench. Once they go, they already know what to do. And, again, Blake is awesome to money. Everybody, Danny was, Shea, everybody was pressuring full court and getting some turnovers.
Lauren Jones, Olympics.com. Coach, can you just talk about what the biggest challenge has been for you since kind of assuming this, interim role, and how you kind of like keep the team together during a time in which it's challenging?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like getting used to coaching again, being like a head coach. Just the rules are a little bit different than what I used to, so I got a lot of things in mind, and just trying to adapt again to the NBA and the feeling of things. Sometimes I look at the table and try to call a timeout, just like in FIBA, and I'm like, no, I gotta look to the referee and call a timeout. So stuff like that, you just gotta get used to.
Part of that, Coach, obviously you've been in right here.
Oh, please.
The offense, and I know that was obviously a big thing in comparison with FIBA with you. Tonight you guys got up 103 shots. Both Denny and Jeremy really looking like they're in rhythm early on in season. So I was hoping you could just maybe talk about each one of those guys and what they're bringing offensively right now. It seems like they're both in a really nice groove. Yeah, I mean, they shooting the ball well, they driving well, they doing the two things that we want to do, right? Driving layups and catch a shoot. And of course, Danny is shooting some pull-ups and all of that. He got that on his game. He's confident right now. And, you just got to keep loving them and giving them confidence and let the game flow a little bit.
You had a bunch of players that played well tonight. Anybody in particular, who would you say that really excited you what they did?
Yeah, I think low-key, Donovan was great tonight. He protected the rim. He got how many offense rebounds? He has 7 offense rebounds. He got a lot of second chances for us. 14 rebounds total. He was awesome.
Yeah, to follow up on that, he's had a pretty strong start to the season. What do you think has gone into that overall?
Sorry, who?
Donovan. Yeah, he's had a pretty strong start.
Yeah. I mean, he's developed just from last year to now. He lost, 20, 30 pounds from last year. He's just in a better shape. He's shooting the ball better. The threes, in practice, you can see, right? He's shooting well the threes, shooting well the free throws, getting more confidence to finish around the rim. So he's improving a lot.
What have you liked from Jeremy so far this season?
Well, just his pose, come from the bench and be himself. Taking the shots that we want, which is the layups and the threes, less of the mid-range. I know he likes those shots, but, trying to show him, other ways to score, and he's been awesome so far.
Has that been a process, getting him to maybe not go for those and go for the others that you want?
To be honest, just with our system, the way we play, naturally he's going to have less of those. So a little bit part of our system.
And there you hear from Coach Tiago Splitter, and it is funny. So I'm sitting there and I'm telling Brenden, I was like, let's go to the coach's corner. I said, let's hit it. And he played the intro. Well, my daughter was listening, and she thinks apparently "Let's Hit It" is awesome. So my wife sent me this.
Do what now? Let's hit it.
So she's just said, "Let's hit it, Mom. Let's hit it." Not adorable at all, Brenden. And I'm not going to pass up, a chance to just say, look how cute my kids are.
I mean, Chris, to be perfectly honest with you, and you were probably just like, oh, look at this guy over here. I mean, even I made a moment on Friday to be like, hey, Chris, do you know I'm a new uncle now? So, I mean, it's kind of one of those cool things, man. I totally understand.
No, not at all, man. It's being an uncle's cool, and being a dad is awesome. And I got nephews and nieces, and they like their Uncle Chris. It's a good feeling.
I mean, that's why I got to be number one, right? I got 2 brothers to compete with, Chris. So, I mean, you got to be number one uncle over
I
here.
know.
So I got high standards.
My little niece, she was over for a birthday party over the weekend, and then she's like, me and Mom are going to church after this. It's girls' night at our church, and I'm going with Mom. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. I go, are you going to tell all your friends that you came straight from your favorite uncle's house? And she's like, maybe. So I asked her yesterday, I go, did you tell everyone? She goes, no.
That's awesome.
Oh, my goodness. What? Kids, man, they are awesome. All right, let's look at the YouTube chat real quick. Kirk says, am I crazy saying this is a big game? Kirk, you are not, because Utah, although they have been playing some decent basketball, obviously got the win over the Clips and been trying to do their thing, they're still a team that is definitely in full on, like, where are we going from here? We need to rebuild, figure this future out. And you would hope that Portland can go in there, get a win over them today. Also, when you talk about, is this a big game? Well, yeah, I think that the chance to come home above 500, going 2-3 on your first road trip of the year, I think those things are big. Absolutely. Playing in Utah, where it's always a tough place to play, the altitude, all that stuff that comes with it. But you're playing a team that right now is sitting at 2-1 with wins over the Clippers and wins over Phoenix, who's not too great. A win over Sacramento, who's going to be up and down, a loss to Sacramento. That loss to Sacramento, though, was by 1 point. That win over Phoenix, it was by 4. They got some close games there over their last 2. So hopefully Portland can go in, just keep playing the game they're playing, and hopefully guys like Shaedon Sharpe can bust out of the slump. So thinking this is a big game, absolutely, you're not off your rocker in the least. This here channel also chimes in, Brenden. He says, I have relatives who went to OSU and U of O, and the second their child got scholarships to go to the other school, the child's hatred towards the other school's people ended.
Very relatable. I remember Dad and Grandpa were like, we're Beaver fans, but if Oregon wants you to pay for you to go to school for anything, we're amenable. But that was the only circumstance that I remember growing up with that.
I will say that my hatred for Oregon State and even Washington is it's all playful, man. It's all just sports. It's fun. And I just like football at the end of the day. Like I said, you going to give me a free ticket to go watch a Beaver game? Darn right, I'm going to take it. I just like college football. And then Dirt Mock Fritz, he says, full court pressure is so trendy this month. Well, guess what? Everyone's following the trend, and the trend centers are right here in Portland. Their pressure has been immense through these first 4 games. Keeping it up for 82 is going to be the challenge, and I do think maybe that's part of the reason offensively they've had a little bit of a dip here and there, and guys like Shea are trying to figure it out because you're spending more energy on the defensive side than they're all used to outside of Tumani Kamara and Drew Holiday. So, yeah, there's just a little bit of a learning curve there. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. We're here with you for the next half hour. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, you can go to YouTube.com, type in Rip City Radio, get in on the chat there. When we come back, we're going to listen to Denny Avdia. We're also going to dive into Michael Jordan's take on load management. Brenden, when we go to break, you got to hit a button. So what should you do? Let's hit it. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. I'm having some fun here texting my wife because my middle child is like, how come he hasn't talked about me on radio yet? Talking about Tegan, how come he hasn't talked about me? Well, you weren't listening on Monday when I told the whole world it was your birthday and said happy birthday like 10 times, kid. I love you, Brooklyn. There, got that one out of the way. See, you think, just wait. Uncle Brenden, how come you don't talk about me on radio?
It could be coming, man. He's, I got a feeling he's going to grow up in a pretty sports-centric household there, Chris. So,
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Your family, sports-centric? No way. No way.
He's going to have a little bit of everything, man. But no, I can already hear, all that little stuff. Got to give him the shout-outs and everything. And, yeah, no, that's awesome. Shout out to Brooklyn.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, back on the topic of conversation here, I thought this here channel on our YouTube chat makes a good point. The ironic thing about full court press mode is that it should mean they play more bench players and not have have such heavy minutes for everyone because people are going to get tired. They're going to want to sub out a little bit, and they've been doing that. And I do think that it's smart too because the bench guys understand the situation when they come in. I thought like Chris Murray has been good with his minutes. Blake Wesley's been good with his minutes. I think they both leave you a little bit to be desired offensively, but they play good defense. And so everyone's like taking advantage and playing hard. You love to see it. Do you eventually bog down at some point? We'll see, because through 82 games, it's going to be hard. But the pace at which they play defensively right now is absolutely impressive. And, defense from guys like Tumani Kamara and Drew Holiday and even Denny Avdia, right? A big reason that they go into L.A. and grab a victory over the Lakers. And not only that, Denny Avdia led the team in scoring and got a chance to catch up with Brooke after the game. Actually, this is with Travis, excuse me. It was the radio interview. Got a chance to catch up with Travis.
Joining us now is Denny Avdia, 25 points for you, Denny, and I know you're happier about the win than you are with your line. Again, the defense is relentless tonight, 28 points off of turnovers through 4 games this season. The intensity has been there. How have you guys been able to keep up the pressure constantly for 48 minutes every night?
As I said, we don't back off. We're a young team, aggressive. We compete hard, and then that's what we do. I mean, that's our identity, I guess, and just even if it's a back-to-back, we're a little tired, we're a little fatigued, it doesn't matter. This is our identity where we're trying to keep it steady.
Yeah, you look around this team, and there were so many balanced things in every aspect of this game tonight. 3 guys with 20 or more. The offensive rebounds came from everybody. Just how together is this team on the same page?
We're together. I mean, I can't really express how much this team means for me. The chemistry is there. We love each other. We're happy for each other. No matter who's playing, who's succeeding, who's scoring, it doesn't matter. We're there for each other, and you can see it on the court. Defensively, offensively, we're just playing together.
All right, Denny, thanks so much for the time. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow on the plane.
Thank you so much.
There's no sleep at Staples Center. Apparently, as soon as the game was over, the marching band concert started because that's where it sounded like he did that interview. But he said it right there. You've heard Coach talk about it too as well. That it's just their identity. They're just going to bring it every night, and they have absolutely been bringing it every night. Which leads me into the GOAT. The guy that I think is the greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan. You can debate with a wall if you want to. LeBron James. He's also really, really good. He's in the combo, my friends, but I'm an MJ guy. He was talking about load management on the broadcast the other day on NBC. I want to take a listen.
The term load management has become such a hot button in the NBA.
How I know you were going to talk about that one?
Because you played 80 games a lot. You played 82. What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket or to get money to buy the ticket.
You really cared about the guy who sat in the top deck at the Palace in Auburn Hills to watch you when you came to Detroit?
Yeah, because I know he's probably yelling at me, and I want to shut him up. He's calling me all kinds of names. I definitely want to shut him up.
Right.
You have a duty that if they're wanting to see you, and as an entertainer, I want to show, right? So if the guys are coming to watch me play. I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
So give me the first time that you came to that fork in the road in your career where you could have sat down and missed a game, but you fought through.
Started my career.
Okay.
I twist my ankle. And I had a teammate. He says, "You twist your ankle, young fella. Come over and sit with me. You know, this is you need to." I said, "No, man. I'm trying to make a name for myself. There's no way I can sit. You know, I need to get out there and show what I'm capable of. I want to play. I want to win. I want to make an impact." And I twisted my ankle. I taped it up, and I went back out and I played. I always felt that. I always felt the necessary need that I could never leave my comrades out if I could perform, right? Even if I couldn't. Utah, great example. You know, everybody said the flu game. It's a game 5, which is a very pivotal game. I was going to find a way to get out there, even if I was a decoy. Well, once I got out there, you know, you never know how, you know, pushing yourself, you never know what happens, right?
So that night you got out there and you found you could do more than you thought you were going to be able to do.
Next thing you know, the emotions, the situation, the need of the team, you know, all those things catapulted me to, I'm going to gut this thing out.
And there you hear from MJ, and I agree with him to a point. I mean, yeah, you got to play for everybody. Don't just play for the people in the front row that you can hear. You got to play for everyone in that arena, all the way up at the top. They all paid to see you and your greatness, and that's how it is to this day. And it's the people latch on to players. Just look at how many people show up to Moda Center when the Warriors are here, just to see Steph. When the Lakers are here to see Luka and LeBron, how many Denver Nuggets fans are going to be in the arena on Friday to see Nikola Jokic and co? And then all the Blazer fans who understand they're getting to witness greatness too every time they watch a basketball game. So yeah, you absolutely got to put on it. It's heartbreaking. You've seen those signs like, you know, I traveled 8,000 miles across the globe to come see you play just because for a guy to get a DMP rest. So I get what
I respect it. Yeah. I do. I mean, it's just you know, I mean, I let me put it this way, Chris, from the perspective of those people, like, you know, I mean, there are people, and, you know, even myself at one point in my life where it's like going to a Blazer game. Like, I think I'm a little spoiled now that I have a credential and get to go to all these things. But like for some, maybe you go to just a couple Blazer games a year, right? Maybe, you know, you and your family are like, hey, we go to 2 or 3 or 4 games, or maybe it's 1, right? And you're going there to see a certain player or a certain thing. I do think those days were awesome. It's like if you went to go see the Bulls at any point, Chris, and this is well before my time, I believe, you know, it was 2 for his last run, the last dance. But what have you, if you bought a ticket to go see the Bulls, and I remember that was so much of the B-roll of the last dance was all the people Michael would see, you know, in you know, the walk into the bus in the loading dock area who wanted his autograph and were like, I just wanted to see you play and all these things. And I don't know, I think that's kind of special.
It is. It's very, very special. So, yeah, I like what he's saying, and load management has definitely become a thing. And I also think when you argue the other way, though, is you see a lot of guys from those old eras of basketball or football. Granted, you know, load management isn't really a thing in football. But you see a lot of guys from those old eras who they got the bum knees, they can't walk, the body's just beat up, and then at the same time you got at this era where you got, you know, guys like Steph on the backside of the 30s who are still playing great. James Harden in his late 30s still playing great. Like, I mean, there's something to be said about managing and being smart with your body too.
Oh, and if you had told me, Chris, circa 2013, that Steph Curry would be into his late 30s and had no more ankle injuries, right? Like, you know, you got to credit that recovery process too. But, you know, you and I were there on Friday, Chris, and I'll tell you one thing, Steph Curry don't look like he's getting up near the ripe age of 40.
He doesn't look like he's aged a day. But no, I'm on team MJ, man. I want to see the greatest play. And some people will make jokes about, you know, oh, well, you know, he did this or he did that. Like, yeah, it's that Mamba mentality we joke about, or not joke about, we talk about with like Kobe, right? Just that just in your nature to just go out there and be great every single day. And that's special. And I respect the players who play as many games as they can. Granted, like he said, sometimes your body just can't. I'm not knocking a guy who's actually hurt, but out, rest, come on. Speaking of injuries and what's going on, your updated injury report for your Trailblazers. Scoot Henderson, Damian Lillard, Robert Williams remain out. Chris Murray was listed as questionable yesterday. He has been downgraded to out. He is sick. And Matisse Thybulle, who did not play on Monday, is available to play today. This is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can join the conversation at 503-248-0620 or head to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and join the chat there. When we come back, we're going to hit you with our keys to the game, all right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Getting you ready for Blazers versus Jazz. If you want to join the conversation, head on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, where Dogcatcher asked a good question. Anyone aware of the timeline for Scoot Henderson return from the hamstring injury? Well, he was injured roughly when they announced the press release about 5 weeks ago, and they said it was a 4 to 8 week timetable to return. And that return was return to the court, not return to game action. That was a return to getting built up. So he's probably got, my guess is you're looking at somewhere between end of November, early January, depending on how severe it was, how good the healing has been going, and all that. I mean, considering we're right in that original timeline, I would suspect sometime in the next 3 weeks we may end up hearing an update on that as he gets reevaluated. But a lot of people, when it first happened, were kind of hitting that December to January timeline. And you definitely want to make sure you ease through this one and make sure he doesn't linger or re-injure himself. All right, it is time now, my friends, for our keys to the game. All right, time now for our keys to the game. And I'm going to tell you that the Blazers just keep doing what you're doing defensively. I think it's definitely started to shake teams up. 4 games now, and 4 different teams have talked about the Blazers defense. Drew Holiday was turning heads. JJ Redick was talking about how he was impacting everything. Obviously, DA was talking about it. Like, everyone's talking about the defense from the Blazers. James Harden mentioned it. Steve Kerr mentioned it. Anthony Edwards mentioned it. The defense just needs to keep pushing. Now, some of these teams have still managed to shoot the ball well. The Lakers shot 46% in that game. But you know what? Sometimes you're going to make shots. That's okay. Especially Austin Reeves was making shots. He is also borderline. He's getting into the SGA James Harden territory of free throw merchants. He's getting really good at that. That game where he had 51, he had 22 attempts at the free throw line, which was more than the opponent. And he had 14 in this one. He had 14 free throws. The Blazers had 15 as a team. Yep, free throw merchant. But don't hate the player, hate the game. I like Austin Reeves' game. Not hating him, hating the game. Now, if you're Blazers, just keep playing defense, doing what you're doing there. Offensively, I need to see a little bit more out of Shaedon Sharpe in this game, especially with the way the Jazz can play. Lauri Markkanen is a big body to get by. He's not the world's best defender, but he's big, he's tall, he has length. He's going to make it tough. Walker Kessler's good. Like, they can beat you up a little bit, so you just got to just stick to your guns. Get the ball on the ground and just be assertive. I want to see a big game from Shea. And you know what? That, quite frankly, it might be my key to the game until I see it. I want to see it every single game. That's how important it is to me. And then lastly, I need this team to, once again, just be smart. Be smart. I want to see the three-point shot fall. They have had a couple nights. I mean, you saw Shaedon Sharpe in L.A. He was not great from beyond the arc. Obviously, Toumani Camara had an off night. They've had the days where they're good, and then they also had the days like in LA where they were 11 for 41 against the Clippers. So just make sure those shots are smart. You're taking them, you're making them, and at some point too, if you're not making the shot, just deviate from it. Go to what works. If it ain't working, find what is working. All right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if it is broke, don't keep trying to use it. Fix it. And sometimes that just means getting away from the three-point shot for a second. Just feed it to the big man. Let Donovan Clingan go. He had a great game against the Lakers. Maybe he could do it again tonight up in Salt Lake City. Tip-off in a little over an hour. Trailblazers versus Jazz. Game 5 of the year and the first road trip about to end. The Blazers will come back to Moda on Friday to take on the Denver Nuggets. That should be a good game. And a couple games at home before hitting the road again. The upcoming schedule for your Trailblazers. Again, they come home. They have Denver, LA again, and then Oklahoma City before a nice 5-game trip that sees them go Miami, Ontario, New Orleans, Houston, and Dallas. All right, the music's on. That means it is time to go for me, not you, because coming up next across the Trailblazers audio network, Chad Doing has the Trailblazers pregame show. Tip-off at 6 o'clock with your radio voice of the Trailblazers, Travis Demers, on the call. And, of course, when the game is over, we'll have the fifth quarter where hopefully Brenden and I are sitting here with you breaking down a Trailblazers victory. Once again, Blazers versus Jazz coming up here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.